On a muggy afternoon in Tampa, as I rested on my front porch, I felt something strange in my chest. It wasn't pain. It felt more like a brick pressing down, heavy and uncomfortable. I got up slowly, sweating like I'd just run a marathon. I caught my reflection in the fridge door. Pale, forehead damp, heart pounding out of rhythm. I was scared. It wasn't the first time, but this time felt different. I called the doctor. The next day, he looked over my test results and said everything was within the expected range for my age. Slightly high blood pressure, borderline cholesterol, worrisome triglycerides. He prescribed another supplement and, barely making eye contact, told me to clean up my diet. It felt like he was telling me to suck the joy out of life. On the way home, I heard a radio ad for miracle capsules. That night, lying in the dark, I wondered, is this brick in my chest the beginning of the end? The next day, I went to the grocery store. Before I knew it, I was in the canned goods aisle. I saw a tin of sardines gleaming in the corner of the shelf. An older man next to me grabbed two and smiled. "I eat 'em every week," he said. "My doctor says that's why my arteries are as clean as a freshly paved road."
Have you ever stopped to think that you might be ignoring one of the most complete and affordable foods in the grocery store? Just out of pure prejudice? You don't have to answer now, but hear me out. Picture this. You open your kitchen cabinet, and, tucked away in the back corner, you spot a small, slightly dented can forgotten between bags of pasta and rice. You almost throw it out without a second thought. But what if I told you that this little can has the potential to improve your heart health, protect your bones, sharpen your memory, and even help regulate your blood sugar? Yes, I'm talking about canned sardines. I know, most people's first reaction is to turn up their nose and say that, no way. Sardines are often associated with a strong smell, a sketchy look, and a price so low it couldn't possibly be healthy. But in this case, cheap doesn't just mean good. It might actually be life-saving. Let me tell you a true story I heard from a woman named Marilda, who lived in Newark, New Jersey. She and her husband, Joachim, always cared about their health. Well, to be fair, he was the health nut. He had a whole cabinet full of supplements omega-3 capsules, imported magnesium, krill oil, cock you name it. He spent almost as much on pills as some people do on rent. Marilda, on the other hand, was more down-to-earth. One day, she watched a video about the benefits of sardines and decided to give it a try. She bought 2 cans for less than the cost. Of a fast food lunch, she opened one, ate it with rice and lemons, simple as that, and Joachim. He was appalled, said sardines were poor people food. But guess what happened? And by the way, if you're interested in health after 6T, now's a great time to subscribe to this channel. 6 months later, at their checkup, Joachim's numbers were pretty much the same. Marilda's, though, cholesterol levels were great, blood pressure under control, and her cardiologist praised her circulatory health. "You're on the right track. Keep eating like this," he said. That's when Joachim had to swallow his pride and his first bite of sardines. That story got me thinking. How often do we dismiss the simple things just because we've been sold? The idea that health comes in expensive bottles and complicated diets, and that's where the real problem starts. Prejudice. Good food doesn't have to come from a fancy restaurant, have a French name, or cost a fortune. Sardines are proof of that. Let's start with the smell. You know, that strong scent people complain about. It's actually from the concentration of omega-3 fats, the same ones that protect your arteries, reduce inflammation, and boost brain health. That ocean smell? It's a sign of nutrient density, not something bad or unclean. If the smell bothers you, try this simple trick. Squeeze a bit of fresh lemon on your sardines, or mix them with a little olive oil and a pinch of ginger. The flavor completely transforms light, almost citrusy, and even more nutritious. Now, about the quality of canned food, some people still think canned automatically means bad. That may have been true in the 1970s, but not anymore. Modern preservation methods keep sardines nutrients intact, and they even offer something rare: edible bones packed with calcium. That's right, sardine bones are so soft you barely notice them. And they pack around 380 milligrams of calcium per 100 grams more than a glass of milk. Plus, they come with natural vitamin D, which helps your body actually absorb that calcium. This combo is a game changer if you deal with knee pain, weak legs, or tend to trip at home. Sometimes it's not clumsiness, it's your bones losing strength. And if you're lactose intolerant or just don't like milk, sardines are a golden alternative. Bone benefits are just the beginning. The real star of the show, heart health. People spend a fortune on capsules that claim to support cardiovascular health, while the real answer might be sitting in the back of their pantry. Sardines are like a heart health SWAT team, and I'm not exaggerating. First, there's omega-3. You've probably heard about it. It's like a firefighter in your bloodstream, reducing inflammation, preventing clots, and keeping arteries clear. But sardines don't stop there. They also contain CoQ10, a substance your body makes naturally, but produces less of as you age. And what does CoQ10 do? It powers your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your cells, especially heart cells. Think about it. Your heart beats over 100,000 times a day. It's like an engine that never shuts off. Without energy, it fails. CoQ10 helps keep that engine running strong and steady. And there's more. Sardines are a great source of selenium, a mineral many people forget about. Selenium works as an antioxidant, protecting your blood vessels from premature aging. Think of rust forming inside your arteries. That's what free radicals do. Selenium is like anti-rust oil, preventing silent damage. They're also rich in vitamin B12, which is essential for nerve function, including the nerves that regulate your heartbeat. It helps prevent arrhythmias and supports stable circulation. So while most supplements offer a single benefit, sardines bring the whole package, a true nutritional powerhouse. You might be wondering, but does all this really make a difference? I get it. So let me tell you what one of the largest studies ever done on diet and heart health found. Researchers in Japan followed more than 90,000 people over the course of a decade. Their goal was to understand the impact of consuming small fish sardines included on heart disease prevention. The results were surprising. Those who ate sardines 2 to 3 times a week had a 30% lower risk of heart attacks and strokes. 30%. That's not just a statistic. That's families staying together. Grandparents getting more time to play with their grandkids. People staying out of the hospital. 30% is the kind of number that should be printed right on the lid of the can. Of course, it's not all sunshine and roses. When it comes to canned food, the first concern that pops up is sodium, and yes, it's a valid one. So here's an important heads up. Not all sardines are created equal. Some brands go overboard with salt, especially those packed in sauces or brine. The tip here is simple. Read the label. If it has more than 200 milligrams of sodium per serving, you're better off choosing another option. The best choices are those canned in olive oil or mineral water. Olive oil helps preserve fat-soluble vitamins like DNA. The water-packed version is great if you're watching your weight or prefer something lighter. Paying attention to the details makes all the difference. And let's not forget another battle many people face daily: blood sugar control, with type 2 diabetes becoming more common every year. Foods that help stabilize blood sugar levels are true allies, and sardines can play a big role here too. The combination of protein and healthy fat in sardines slows down the absorption of carbs. That means if you eat sardines with rice or whole grain bread, your body absorbs the sugars more gradually, avoiding those dreaded blood sugar spikes. And there's more. Studies involving pre-diabetic patients showed that eating sardines twice a week for 6 months helped lower fasting blood sugar and improved insulin response. No pills, no prescriptions, just real food. And what did the researchers conclude? That the effect of sardines was comparable to early-stage medication. 1 can of sardines twice a week instead of an ultra-processed snack. That's it. That simple. Now, if sardines are already powerful for the body, just wait until you see what they can do for the brain. If there's one part of our body we should guard like a treasure chest, it's the brain. Not just because it controls everything, but because losing mental clarity is one of the scariest parts of aging. Maybe you know that fear all too well. Walking into a room and forgetting why, struggling to recall the name of someone you've known for years. These little slips become more frequent and more worrisome. What most people don't realize is that sardines can also be a powerful ally in protecting brain health. Let me explain how our brains are largely made of fat. But not just any fat needs a specific kind called DHA, an omega-2,3 fatty acid. And guess what? Sardines are among the richest natural sources of DHA out there. This nutrient helps improve communication between neurons. Think of it like replacing old copper wires in your home with fiber optics. The signals move faster and clearer, your memory stays sharper, your focus improves, your thinking feels less foggy, and it doesn't stop there. Sardines are also rich in vitamin B12, essential for nervous system health. Without it, electrical signals in the body can't travel properly, which can affect everything from leg movement to memory processing. In fact, B12 deficiency is one of the hidden causes of mental confusion in people over 60. And the worst part, it often goes unnoticed for years. Another key nutrient is vitamin D, which is also found in sardines. It plays several roles, boosting the immune system, improving mood, and perhaps most surprisingly supporting brain detox. It helps clear out waste like beta amyloid, the protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. In short, sardines don't just nourish your brain, they help keep it clean and functioning. And the best part, you don't need to buy some trendy superfood or fall for a magic formula. Now, let's get practical. A lot of people think it's hard to include sardines in their daily meals, that you have to cook or follow complex recipes. Not true. Sardines are one of the most accessible foods out there. If you want something quick, just open the can, squeeze some fresh lemon, drizzle with olive oil, and eat with brown rice. Want to switch it up? Mix sardines with a beaten egg and scramble it in a pan? It's nutritious, tasty, and ready in 5 minutes. Another great option, sardine spread. Mash with a fork, add some chopped red onion, fresh lemon juice, herbs, and a spoonful of mayo. Serve it with whole grain bread or crackers. It's a light, functional snack and way more nutritious than any processed chips. And if the smell still bothers you, remember the tip: fresh lemon juice and a pinch of ground ginger. It's a simple trick many chefs use. Not only does it neutralize the odor, it adds a fresh, digestible note. But before you rush off to the grocery store, here's one very important note. Sardines are high in purines. That means if you've been diagnosed with gout or have high uric acid levels, talk to your doctor before making sardines a regular part of your diet. In these cases, what's healthy for most people may need adjusting. Other than that, the rule holds: sardines are a rare combo of convenience and nutritional power. Few foods offer this much for so little, and like anything of real value, it deserves to be recognized. Because if you think about it, sardines are almost a symbol of resilience. They've survived food trends, social stigma, and waves of gourmet fads, and they're still here, delivering real benefits backed by science. And deep down, isn't that what this is really about? Reclaiming what works, what's real, what makes sense for your body, not just your image. Have you ever slipped in the bathroom and feared you might not be able to get up? Felt your knees giving out when climbing stairs? Hesitated to bend down? To pick something up out of fear you might not get back up? If you answered yes to any of these, you're not alone. The loss of strength, balance, and bone density is a silent reality affecting millions of people over 60, and it often arrives without warning. Simple fall can turn into a long hospital stay, a complicated surgery, or even irreversible loss of mobility. But once again, that little underappreciated food hero steps in: the sardine. Let's start with bones. As we've seen, sardines are rich in calcium, but the real magic is in how that calcium is absorbed. Drinking gallons of milk or popping calcium pills won't help if your body can't absorb it. Sardines naturally provide the full package: calcium, vitamin D, and phosphorus in just the right balance. This trio strengthens bones, improves their internal structure, and even helps with muscle attachment. That means fewer fractures and more confidence in your everyday movements. And there's more. Sardines are a source of high quality protein, meaning your body can absorb and use it almost entirely. This is essential for maintaining lean muscle mass, especially after age 50, when we naturally start losing muscle. That loss, known as sarcopenia, is one of the biggest contributors to falls and frailty in older adults. Now imagine this scenario. Someone with weaker bones, diminished muscle strength, and slower reflexes. That's like walking on thin ice. One wrong step could lead to a serious fall. But by adding sardines to your meals 2 to 3 times a week, you're giving your body powerful reinforcements, more protein for your muscles, more calcium for your bones, more vitamin D4, balance and better cognition to help you react faster to obstacles. Here's another bonus. Sardines contain magnesium, which is essential for muscle contraction and relaxation. It helps prevent cramps, tremors, and that unexplained weakness in your legs. And there's one more benefit most people don't talk about. Sardines are great for joint health too. They're one of the best natural sources of EPA and DHA2, omega-3 fatty acids that work as natural anti-inflammatories. If you suffer from osteoarthritis, these compounds can help reduce morning stiffness and joint pain. It's like lubricating the body's gears, making every step and movement smoother. Now, let me ask you, have you ever heard all of this about a simple can of sardines? Probably not. We live in a world where things have to look fancy to be appreciated. But sometimes, the solution is something your grandmother already knew on, maybe you just forgot. Here's a powerful reminder. Food isn't just fuel, it's also information for your body. When you eat well, you're sending messages of balance, strength, and healing. And because sardines are packed with essential nutrients, they send a clear signal. I'm taking care of you. People who make this little fish part of their routine have seen incredible results. And I'm not just talking about studies. I'm talking about real people, like Ms. Elza, 76 years old, who started eating sardines 3 times a week after a hip fracture caused by a fall. 6 months later, she was walking more steadily, her knee pain had eased, and she was back dancing at senior socials. She told me, "I thought it was just a backup food, but that little can saved my independence." And isn't that what we all want? Independence, strength to carry groceries, balance to play with grandkids, health to keep living with dignity. This brings us to the heart of the matter. If you've made it this far, you know this is about more than just a food recommendation. This is about autonomy, about quality of life, about living longer and better without expensive treatments, without chasing trends, and most importantly, without giving up the joy of eating something simple, nutritious, and delicious. Sardines aren't just food, they're a strategy, a way to give your body what it needs to keep going strong. Nutrients that build bones, sustain muscles, protect the heart, sharpen the mind, and balance blood sugar. And the most amazing part, all of that is packed into a can that costs less than a bus ticket. But for it to work, you have to act. And action starts with choice. It's not enough to know what's good for you if you keep living the same way. The difference between those who improve and those who stay stuck comes down to one word: attitude. It's choosing to put the sardines in your shopping cart when your instinct says to grab a pack of cookies. It's opening that can, preparing it with care, and eating it with the knowledge that you're honoring your health and for those who care for someone, a father, a mother, a grandparent. This small act can be even more transformative. Including sardines in the daily meals of older loved ones is a quiet yet powerful way to show care. Because sometimes all someone needs is a little more energy to get out of bed, a little more strength in their legs to walk safely, or a bit more clarity to remember their grandchildren's names. And yes, all of that can begin with a meal made with sardines. Now, maybe you're still unsure how to actually include them in your meals. So here are a few practical ideas. Rice, beans, and sardines, a classic that's often overlooked. Add a side of leafy greens and you've got a complete meal. Pasta with sardines, salt, garlic, onion, and tomato, then add sardines. A much healthier alternative to store-bought sauces. Sardine stuffed tapioca. Quick, simple, and light. Whole grain toast with sardine spread, a truly satisfying afternoon snack. Omelette with sardines and vegetables for those who want protein. And convenience all in one pan. You don't need to make radical changes. Just start, once or twice a week, and over time, your body will respond. Of course, everything should be done in moderation. As we mentioned before, people with gout or high uric acid should check with a doctor before eating sardines regularly. But aside from those cases, the rule is simple. Eating well means eating wise. Blind wisdom is often found in simplicity. And here's a little secret. Good health isn't just about test results. It shows up in the small victories of everyday life. It's waking up with energy. It's climbing stairs without pain. It's remembering the details of yesterday's conversation. It's walking to the store on your own. It's cooking your own lunch and feeling proud of it. And if a can of sardines can help you hold on to all of that, why not give it a try? So here's my final invitation. This weekend, go to the grocery store. Choose a can of sardines with low sodium, preferably packed in olive oil or mineral water. Take it home, prepare it with care. And as you eat, remember, you're nourishing your health, your dignity, and your independence. Thanks for watching. And if this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel and share it with someone you care about. Sometimes all it takes is a little nudge, and a can of sardines might just be the beginning.